A bunch of you have asked me, how does Claude stack up against ChatGPT? Or what about Gemini or Perplexity? And the one question that keeps coming up, which AI model should I be using then? In this video, I'm comparing these four platforms when it comes to custom instructions for real-world use. So if you're a regular on my channel, you know that ChatGPT is my go-to LLM. In it, I've created this project I named YouTube Helper. And what it does is it helps me hone my YouTube video titles, write text for thumbnails, write my description of my videos, and also LinkedIn posts and social media posts to promote the videos. I use my prompt template that is free to download in the description of this video to write the prompt within the instructions of the project. Inside the instructions, I paste this prompt that I've written. So quite a detailed prompt with examples of format and tone. Gave it a role of you're an expert content creator specializing in creating engaging and impactful YouTube titles, descriptions, text for YouTube thumbnails, and helping design the thumbnails, as well as LinkedIn posts. Behavior: use a conversational, friendly, and authentic tone. Keep sentences at a maximum of 11 words. So very detailed, and if you want to look at how I write prompts, I have another video on that. I'll share it on the screen and also in the description, and I'll share two videos also that are relevant at the end of this video, creating projects and how to use the prompt template. I then paste it into my instructions of my projects. In addition, I've added in the project file section, that's the knowledge section, let's call it, I've added 5 different files, reference for the AI, 3 different transcripts of previous videos that I've written, created on my channel. Not just the transcript, its title, some knowledge about what the thumbnail text is and how it looks, but I've also given it what the description is like and also the LinkedIn post. So for these 3, episode 14, 15, and 16, it has the transcripts and how I set up all the content that's related to the instructions. In addition, I've given it an actual just the transcript of another episode that I did and a conversation that I had with ChatGPT that went through the process of creating that content, where there was iteration and some back and forth with ChatGPT. I copied all that conversation and placed it here, and within it I'm telling ChatGPT, use this purely as reference, what my style is, how I react to things, so what not to do and what yes to do, to help it with the instructions, which is the main prompt. This is the most important part, the instructions. And that's the context now that I'm going to compare the other 3 with as well. So first, let's have a quick look at the user interface of all 4 so that I'm not jumping between them. They're quite similar. You saw quickly with ChatGPT what I've done. In here, you've got projects on the left. You've got your custom GPTs, which are similar in a way, but you've also got projects. You can click the plus sign here to create a new project. Once you click the plus sign, you'll get an interface like this. You can rename it, add your knowledge files, or you can write in your prompt, your instructions here. Underneath here are all the conversations you've had within the context of the project. They don't have anything to do with each other. What they access is the knowledge file and are driven by the instructions and the prompt that you give it. If we look at Claude, on the left here, you've got projects. Here are all your projects. So I've got the YouTube helper set up quite clean, just like ChatGPT. I find that the interface is quite easy to use. So if we create a new project, I'll give it a name and also the instructions, and then it'll give me the access of adding files here. So project knowledge, you can click on the plus sign here. And it's just like in ChatGPT, adding those knowledge files for the instructions and the AI to work with. In Gemini, they didn't call it projects, they call them gems. So if you go into Gem Manager here on the left, I've got my YouTube helper set up. And in Gem Manager, you can create a new gem by selecting here on this button. And the same thing again, give it a name, give it the instructions, click here, add the knowledge files. Here you can actually test it with a preview before you actually save it. You can always edit that after the fact, so it's not that big a deal. And with Perplexity, they're calling it spaces rather than projects or gems. If you click on spaces, create a new space by clicking here, give it a name, give it a description if you want to, it's not necessarily. Here are the instructions where the prompt goes. Once you've done that, you can add files to it. So very similar. I find that ChatGPT and Claude have the more cleaner, easy to use interface. The gems is also quite good, quite attractive. Perplexity is a bit messy in my opinion. Let's look at how they performed. That's what matters. So with ChatGPT, I gave it my transcript of my last video about Midjourney, ChatGPT, Photoshop, and automation tool, make.com, to create a design workflow. What you can see here is that my first prompt isn't really a prompt. All I've done is added in the transcript, and just understand that I've used exactly the same prompt with exactly the same information with all 4 platforms, except for Perplexity, and I'll explain why. I've just uploaded a transcript by clicking here plus and upload from my computer. I wrote in new video ready. What I like about ChatGPT is immediately it understands what I need from it because the prompt is set up properly with the knowledge and all the references I've given it. And it says, thanks for uploading the new transcript based on previous preferences and our past exchanges. I'll start by creating 5 engaging SEO-friendly YouTube titles. There is a caveat. Maybe ChatGPT has an advantage over the other platforms with me. It's because it has history of me. I've been working a lot with ChatGPT, then it kind of knows me better than the others. So maybe it has a bit of an advantage here when it already is able to jump into a task for me. But what I do like about it is that it described what the core message is. It's in the prompt. It understood it. So your video demonstrates how you've integrated AI tools, Midjourney, FreePic, Photoshop, ChatGPT, Make.com into a streamlined branding and design workflow. And straight away, without any fluff, it says here are 5 title options following the Benz method. So I already understood what it is I needed. Master branding and design fast using my AI workflow. Well, gave me some good titles. I went into a back and forth, but very quickly we went into the YouTube description. I wrote it in the format that I wanted it. I liked it. I asked it for the LinkedIn post. In one shot, gave me it in a level that I can just quickly tweak and just post it on LinkedIn. Clear, very concise responses. This is using the 4.0 actual model. Right now it's set on 4.5 and I don't know why. The 4.5, if you'll get a limited amount, so if you want a lot of back and forth, a lot of feedback from ChatGPT, you'll run out of it quite quickly, and then you'll have to wait a while to be able to come back to the 4.5 model, which is a very good model. I think the 4.0 model is good enough for your needs, but ChatGPT, of course, you need to be a subscribed user to be able to use projects. Another big benefit of ChatGPT, recently they launched an image generation within ChatGPT 4.0, in some respect the leading image generator, AI image generator. So I wanted to test it. I just wasn't happy with one of the thumbnails I'd created for my videos, and I uploaded the thumbnail. It's an okay thumbnail, it's basic, it explains what it is, but I just thought it's plain, the background's very plain, and I said to ChatGPT, here are 2 thumbnails, one is mine and one's another person. Give me your expert opinion from an expert content creator, and can you generate me something like it? It gave me an objective review of it, and what are the strengths, what are the possible improvements. I don't know, it gave me some prompt for it, and then I said to it, no, you regenerate the one that you think how I should improve it, and use my likeness. With one image, ChatGPT image generation wasn't able to recreate me, but something about it was more cleaner, more modern looking to me. And I thought, okay, let's kind of iterate on that. I then told it, okay, I like it in terms of what you're trying to do, but can you give me just the background, this particular background? And it removed all the front elements and created a background for me. So I could then use that background in Photoshop. So it's a long story to say, ChatGPT has a big advantage now that it can create this kind of quality images for you. And if that's important, having a customized LLM that you can cater for your needs that also is able to do image generation, not just you loading up an image, which the others can do, is a big plus, I think. So let's look at Claude now. So with Claude, I've got my YouTube helper, I've got my knowledge section, the instructions all set in place just like ChatGPT. And then if we go into the conversation, loaded up my transcript. Here's a new video, let's come up with a title. And already it got it wrong. What it's done is it's referenced the transcripts that are in the reference in the knowledge section, and it's completely disregarded this text file, this transcript of the AI design workflow that I gave it. Here, it hasn't ignored it, but using AI for design workflows and media content. It's asking me basically, which one do you want to focus on? Now, why would I have loaded that in? So now I have to prompt it. No, I just uploaded a transcript of a new video. The ones in the knowledge are for reference. They state as much. And I've stated as much in each of those files. This is just for reference. I apologize for the confusion. Let's look at the transcript. And then he gives me these very long, unrelated ideas, 8 of them, which it shouldn't be giving me 8. I had to now prompt it further to get to a certain quality of titles. I had to ask it, what is this video about? And then I had to tell it what this video is about to be able to get to titles that actually are useful to me. So I'm spending time here now having to coerce, and I'm using Claude 3.7 Sonnet, which is a good model. By the way, for this video, I decided to pay in for a month into Claude to be able to test it properly. Like in ChatGPT, I think it's an issue that they don't let you taste projects for free in some limited respect. Yeah, it doesn't have a huge history about me. I have used Claude a lot in the past for free, but I know how it operates. I know how the model works. It's receiving the same clear prompt that ChatGPT got. It's got the knowledge. In the knowledge is explained properly. When it came to the creating the description, what it did, it moved to canvas. So those of you who don't know, you can have a canvas section where the result is shown on the right here. So your prompting's on the left, on the right is the result. And I found the descriptions really good, and the LinkedIn post that I wrote was really good. I didn't have to iterate on that. That was pleasing. I would say it's comparable to ChatGPT's. It works in the same way. I'm pretty sure if you work a lot with Claude and you have a history with it, it would get to a point where probably it would be similar in response to ChatGPT. My own personal feeling is that ChatGPT, especially now with 4.0 and 4.5, there's less of a iteration. There's more of a shorthand with ChatGPT, at least for me. So I'm getting to responses a lot quicker without having to manage the AI. So let's look now at Gemini. Here's my YouTube helper. So when I click on it, I have my conversations. So quite similar, a nice clean interface. I've not paid for the Gemini. So a big plus for users of Google. So Google account holders, you've got these models to use, 2.0 Flash. You've also got the 2.5 Pro, which has just recently been released, experimental, best for complex tasks. You get to use that for free for a very limited amount, but I got to use it here with the gems, and I'll show you. So I'm going to talk about both, the gems with 2.0 and the gem with 2.5 Pro Flash. So the interface quite simple. I wish we could customize it a bit more. You can rename your conversations within the gems. So here on the left, by clicking here. So if we go into the first conversation I had with it, using the Gemini 2.0 Flash model, uploaded the transcript. I've said, let's work on the title here. And the first thing it says, okay, I'm ready. Please indicate which transcript you'd like me to work on. Same issue as I had with Claude. Gave me some kind of also warning. The uploads might be too large. That surprises me because one of the big pluses of Gemini is it has a much bigger context. So the amount of tokens that it deals with, it works with, allows you to put into a prompt is much bigger than ChatGPT, Claude, and Perplexity, which is one of the great things about Gemini. So I told her, I just uploaded it. Why, you ask? You're absolutely right. My apologies. It seems I got a bit turned around. So that's a bit frustrating that you have to kind of tell it, hey, I just gave you the transcript and prompted you. Why are you asking me these silly questions? Anyway, based on the information you're giving me, it gave me some titles, which I didn't like so much. So I asked her, are you using instructions and the knowledge I provided to inform your responses? It said yes, but it looked at it and analyzed it. And so I told it, write me 3 more posts. And I had to go back and forth with it to get some kind of title that I liked. And then I said, okay, let's go for the YouTube description. It was okay. I didn't find that it was that bad. It stuck to more or less the right format. I told it to move to the LinkedIn post. It didn't give me a good LinkedIn post. I had to push it again. So I wasn't impressed with this model. I can see that you could probably get to good results. So again, you have to work at it. Probably have to change something in your prompt. Maybe because Gemini also is connected to Imagen, so Google's image generation tool. I wanted to see if in Gemini it's multimodal. Can it generate images? It can't. So if I wanted to redesign this thumbnail, I could probably go to Google AI Studio and design it there. Not probably, I can. I know I can. So Gemini within the gemini.google.com platform, within the gems, isn't a place that you can right now access Imagen to generate imagery for you. So it can read images, but it can't create images. Okay, so that's Gemini 2.0 Flash. It's okay. It's not as good as Claude or ChatGPT, definitely not as ChatGPT, but as a customizable solution for free, which is a big bonus. If you're a Google user, I would definitely recommend looking at this. So the other conversation I had with it was Gemini 2.5. I wrote there, let's work on the title, uploaded the transcript, and boom, it gave me transform your design workflow with this AI method. Like that's a title I could use straight away. I could tweak it maybe. It's explaining it to me. It can show you its thinking. So it actually goes through, has some kind of deep thinking before it gives you a response. And I really like that. It's taking from my instructions, interpreting it, and thinking through it before responding. That's why it's a bit slower when you see its responses. Because I liked these 5 options, I wrote to it objectively, which do you think works best from an expert marketer viewpoint? And it gave me a review of its own responses. So it told me AI design workflow, impress clients, and work faster. And it gave me the reasons, and it also says why the others it thinks are quite good or less good. And I wrote there, I agree. So I said, okay, let's move to the YouTube description. Wrote a description that I could use, no problem. It was very good. Same thing with the LinkedIn description, spot on. I would probably edit it tiny bit and just use it as is because it's clear and concise. And that's when I ran out of usage of Gemini 2.5 Pro because I'm not paying into Gemini or Google. The one bonus of this is that if you do want to use this excellent model, and I know it's one of the best, if not the best LLM right now in the market, the beauty is that if you buy into it, so if I actually use it, I can see I can use it now. I guess it's daily allowances. So if you pay into the Gemini Advanced, I get it for free for a month, so I should test that for a month. You get extra storage, Gemini in Gmail, in Docs, and more. Hopefully it's in Sheets and also Slides. And if it's in Slides, then you can use AI into your presentation tools. You get Notebook LM plus other Google One Premium benefits. So for a similar price, you get added benefits. Judging by the response that I got from Gemini 2.5 Pro, how good it was, and quickly understanding without the history of me, it doesn't know me at all, that it gave me such quick, good results, I'd be tempted to actually pay into Gemini Advanced. I like the interface, I like the responses. The only thing is the Gemini 2.0 was a bit lacking. So I wouldn't use that model personally because ChatGPT is better. So let's look at Perplexity. Okay, so with Perplexity, you get to use Spaces for free with limited capabilities. The amount of context that you can share with it, prompt is much smaller. The instructions is much smaller. So if I go into YouTube Helper, the instructions here are about 300 characters that you can use. You can load in the same amount of knowledge. So I've loaded in my transcripts. This prompt is smaller, so it's not going to be able to create the YouTube descriptions and the LinkedIn post in the same way. I've given it a brief prompt. I didn't want to pay another $20 a month. I've already done that with Claude. I didn't want to spend another $20 on something I'm not really going to use. I just wanted to see how it looks, how it performs. I uploaded a new transcript. Do you see it? It says yes. It understood what the transcript is. And I said, I want to generate the title for the video. And here are 5 compelling titles. It gave me reasonable titles. How AI speeds up branding smarter design in minutes. So useful. I can't say those are not useful. One big bonus of Perplexity, but I think it's also a con. So it's both a pro and a con. The way it works is that it's basically an interface, an application essentially, that connects the APIs to other AI models. So their engine is allowing the models, each different models, to be able to access the searches that they're doing online for information. It's a really good tool for researching online. It was the leading one to be able to go online, do quick researches, real-time researches, and connect that to Claude, ChatGPT, to other models. So that's Perplexity. Perplexity isn't an AI model all on its own, something to be aware of. So on the one hand, it's a kind of a pro that you get access. You can say, okay, what would ChatGPT respond to this? What would Claude respond to this? The reason I think that's not a good thing is that you're buying into something, you want to be able to fine-tune it and get it performing consistently in a certain way. If you're jumping between models, what's the point? What you might as well spend that money on ChatGPT or Gemini when you get access to Notebook LM Pro, you get access to other Google kind of related applications. I just don't think for the money I would spend it here. That's a personal thing. But in terms of its response, it gave me a good YouTube description. The format wasn't the same format. It didn't really adhere to my instructions. I could kind of push it and say use some more emojis, split up the sentences, the paragraphs, do some more line breaks. I can tell it to format things in a different way. I like that it picked up on links to my videos and actually put it into my LinkedIn post. But somewhere along the lines, I asked it to write another LinkedIn post, and it wrote about a transcript, a video that was in the knowledge section, and suddenly forgot that we're talking about that video about AI design workflow, and it started talking about my video about Notebook LM. So I wrote to it, why are you referencing Notebook LM? Stick to the transcript. It seems the transcript provided is about setting up custom GPTs, not AI design tools. I've got to say that really frustrates me when I see something like that. I used to use Perplexity quite a bit early on in the free mode. If you use the Spaces for free, my personal recommendation is not to use it. I like the fact that they've offered it for free for you to taste it and to customize things. I like that they do that, and I wish Claude would do that, and I think ChatGPT should do that. But Perplexity for free does this a lot. We were talking about a subject and you jumped into a completely different subject. Now I have to tell it, go back to where we started, read the chat we just had, and let's get back on track. And then it says, I apologize for the confusion. You're right. Come on, man. I don't want to waste my time on stuff like this. And another addition, the interface is cluttered. There's just too much going on. Your default user interface is not easy to follow. So to recap, of course, there are many LLMs out there. And when I get asked which is the best AI model out there, I kind of give a contradicting answer because it's really dependent on how good your communication skills are. What I would suggest to anybody is get good at prompting, get good at communicating, clearly clarifying in words, written words, what is it you want the AI to do for you? When I say written word, another thing that we're going to have to get good at is to vocalize our requests and our instructions clearly, because AI models have already become, I'm already talking to Gemini and ChatGPT through the microphone. What I do, I think the right thing to do, and I'll show it in another video coming up, and I've already shown it in Google AI Studio video and also Notebook LM. If you give it a clear prompt first and then start talking to it through the mic, you can get to have a proper conversation with the AI and go through the results quicker, because I think vocalizing is easier. And that's the interface we're going to all be using in a year plus. Get good at communication. So it's not about which is your best model. Having said that, two models that I would recommend, or the two platforms that I recommend above all, is ChatGPT or Gemini. And if I was a betting man, I would bet my whatever on Google, on Gemini. Why? Because it's Google. With all their resources and all they're doing in the background and research that they're doing on AI, which they've been doing for decades, you can see they've got image, they've got video, which is excellent. Their 2.5 Pro Flash model is, from what I've been watching and reading, it's really good. So those are the two I would recommend, because Perplexity, what's the point of it? If you're utilizing other models and you're just an interface, then at some point you become irrelevant, because the others are multimodal, they offer much more than you do. Same thing with Claude. Claude is a very good model. Anthropic, the company that created Claude, is an amazing company. They've got other things going on that they're doing for the coding world and software community that's important. But if they don't give other options and other tools to work with, then they'll lose against Gemini and ChatGPT. So which one would you keep working with in the future? That's my general conclusion. Hopefully I helped you, guide you in that sense. The most important thing for you is to get your prompts right. As I said, there's a free prompt template in the description for you to download. Just need to fill out a simple form. You can also watch the video that's related to that prompt template on how to build it. I think that's more important than whether or not you go with Claude or ChatGPT or Gemini. So I hope this video helped you. Remember to hit the like button and do subscribe to my channel for more AI tips and tricks. Let me know in the comment section if you have any questions so that I can improve and bring you more relevant content. And remember to watch this video on how to write the best prompts. And also, if you want to see how I compare custom GPTs with projects in ChatGPT, then click on this video link here.